Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we have a lot of major Nintendo Switch news that's happened all throughout this week in terms of the Nintendo Switch potentially getting discontinued / canceled. Nintendo Switch Pro news kind of relates to that, and just a lot of really big stuff that's going on with the Nintendo Switch, with the hardware, and the future of the console itself. We had a lot of this news kind of come out throughout this week, so I want to make a video on it now because with all the PlayStation 5 restock stuff being a little bit more on the laid back side this weekend, kind of gives me the chance to go and talk about this really big news. If any of you guys are brand new to the channel itself, if you guys want to go and subscribe for just gaming news, PlayStation news, we do a lot of PlayStation restock stuff too as well. So if you guys are trying to go get one, I got you guys. Or if you just want to go subscribe for the PS5 giveaway going on, feel free to enter in with that with the notifications on. We have the Twitter and Twitch stream link down below, Amazon links for all the PlayStation stuff, and of course also the Weeble. Sign up for Weeble, deposit $100. You guys go get free stock and free money. Coinbase, you guys go buy $100 worth of any cryptocurrency. You guys go get free Bitcoin, and any ads you guys see go towards my mom. So as I mentioned, guys, we have a little bit of a combination video on this. I'm going to showcase up some stuff when it comes to more Switch Pro rumors, do a quick little recap on that, and also talk about this kind of major big thing that might actually just lead the Nintendo Switch just to be, well, done. Like, we might be finally moving off of the Switch console. So we have a lot to go and talk about, so let's go dive on in. So when it comes to this actual video itself, we're going to start off with like the OLED stuff. We kind of touched on this a little bit before, but just for a quick recap in case any of you guys missed it, basically Nintendo is now officially working with Samsung to go and work towards a brand new Switch. When it comes to this stuff, it's kind of like start off a really big Nintendo Switch Pro rumor, where basically now they're kind of more so moving to a bigger display, as reports by Bloomberg and many different other types of articles. And basically this is moving now over to an OLED display that is being made by Samsung, and it will most likely be speculated around the actual holiday 2021 period. Why do we kind of think this is going to be brand new? Because all the brand new displays are actually different sizes and a higher quality than the previous Switch. As well, also one of the bigger things too to kind of note, as I just mentioned, the all existing Switch consoles uses an LCD display, so an OLED upgrade would be very big in terms of better contrast, and also just other little mixtures on there too as well, with a potential for 4K output. Very big and very huge. And also we can kind of go and tell that the Nintendo Switch has been on its life cycle since around 2017. So it's been a while at this point. Don't forget, it's already 2021. So in terms of the actual internal hardware, it is getting a little bit outdated, but as well, when it comes to actual production-wise, they don't really want to keep on staying on one console for so long, when they especially already sold over 79 million units, probably even more by the time making this video. But as well, they also want to go upgrade for the next generation of games. As you guys, I'm sure you guys know, we've seen a lot of Breath of the Wild 2 rumors, new Mario rumors, just a bunch of major different games that will be using and needing better graphics and updating the graphics. Same with multiplayer. I'm sure a lot of you guys know the multiplayer for Nintendo is very slacking and very bad. So overall, kind of seeing just more of an internal upgrade in terms of bigger actual screens, etc., is very big and nice just for overall news. Here's just another article kind of confirming this too as well, where basically the Switch Lite uses a very small LCD screen. The normal Switch is using a 6.2-inch screen, and the new ones will be a little bit bigger, so 7 inches with the Samsung OLED display, and they're starting to start making around 1 million units, at least 1 million more so of the actual panels, starting in June, so in the very near future. So a lot of this is kind of like the basis of the Switch Pro rumors. But the biggest thing as of right now is kind of more so new stuff, which is that Nvidia. We have a big Nvidia leak in regards to how the Nintendo Switch now might be getting discontinued. So as I mentioned at the start of the article itself, discontinued is maybe not necessarily a bad thing. More so think about it like the Wii U or etc., or at some point it just ends up at the end of its gaming life cycle, and then we want to move on to bigger and better things. So it's not necessarily a bad thing if we have a lot more Switch production slowly go on down, stockpiled on up, and then sent out all the remainders just throughout the next year or so, while we slowly move over everything to the next Switch Pro or whatever they want to go and call it. So I'm going to start off with this article over here too as well, and this is kind of a big news because, as I mentioned, with the Switch Pro rumors coming up and slowly working that's in production, the next major thing too as well is going to be like what's going to happen with the Switch. So I'm going to go and tell you guys as of now. So Nintendo can't delay upgrading the internals of its Switch hybrid console much longer if the latest rumor is to be believed. Nvidia is apparently preparing to end production of its Tegra X1 Mariko processor this year, which is the chip we have in every single Switch right now. As Gamereactor reports, a person familiar with the matter has stated Nvidia will stop making the Tegra X1 Plus, better known as the Tegra X1 Mariko system, on a chip SoC at some point in 2021. So at some point throughout this year, the Switch is probably going to be discontinued and production is going to either slow down or stop fully. It means Nintendo would no longer have access to a fresh supply, which also means too as well if you guys are seeing all the actual LED things we just kind of covered, so a double whammy. So basically means there's gonna be a lot less stock. Of course, at the upgraded, if you guys had a chance to go upgrade the Switch to use an alternative SoC, so they always have a chance to basically go and change the internals if they need to, or just kind of go and switch production. But if you're gonna be going through that entire process 5 years later, might as well just make a brand new console and make more money, sell more units. The Japanese company can, however, ensure it orders enough Mariko chips to fulfill its short-term needs. So basically, they could always go and stockpile up, like say, another 15 million worth to basically make sure the next console will be okay for the next year as they slowly move over to the next console as well. So currently, both the Switch and the Switch Lite use the Mariko processor. If this production rumor turns out to be true, then Nintendo will already have a plan in place to either update both models or replace them completely with what's widely referred to as the Switch Pro. Nintendo would also need to produce a Switch Pro Lite if it's intended to stick with the two-model approach. So number one, this is kind of bad news for anyone who's maybe still trying to go get an actual Switch, or they may just recently got one, because we'll have another actual upgrade in the near future. But number two, very nice news for anyone who's in the lookout for the new Switch. I'm going to be very excited to leave your comment down below for sure, but I can't wait for a Switch Pro because I want to be able to go play games like Breath of the Wild 2, Splatoon 3, and other major AAA releases from Nintendo with no lag. If you guys even try to go play games like Hyrule Warrior, I had issues with that. I'm not a Nintendo hater. I love my Switch. But also, even when on the very first day when I played Breath of the Wild, I had a lot of lag issues and actual just normal processing issues, which on a day one console is not fun. That'd be like if my PlayStation 5 had issues on that. So just more news on this. Last week, we heard reports of a new Switch model launching later this year, which we actually covered up on a previous video, but also for this as well, we kind of touched on that very quick, with the 7-inch 720p OLED display and upgraded internal components, allowing for 4K visuals, which is a major upgrade as of right now with the dot Switch. When the console is dot, the OLED panels are also being supplied by Samsung, and shipping begins in June, which we covered before, suggesting we could see the console launch over the summer. With that in mind, we may see the Switch Pro launch just as Nintendo starts to run low on the Mariko processors and quietly phases out both existing Switch models. Very, very interesting stuff to go and cover, and I can't wait to touch on this and kind of give you guys my thoughts on this, as well as I mentioned throughout all these articles. Leave your comments down below. But when it comes to all of this, it's very, very intriguing because it does make sense. Nintendo wants to be able to go and compete with the big boys, Xbox Series X and also the PS5, because they don't want to be losing market share. And I think myself and a lot of you gamers out there can also agree the Switch is lacking. Now, I think Nintendo games are awesome, but the hardware is the major issue. As I even mentioned before, some games even on launch were having lag issues, and if any of you guys ever played Breath of the Wild, trying to go through the actual forest itself to try to go get your nice little sword, and it had a lot of lag issues, or sometimes when you had a lot of mobs on screen. On a day one console, I feel like that's somewhat unforgivable, especially because the game was also on the Wii U. I understand though, even some games like PlayStation 5 games or PC games, also those issues. I'm not too much of a Nintendo hater, but I'm just saying, in terms of hardware, it's always been kind of slack and always comparable to maybe like the PS3 or very early PS4 if you're lucky in terms of optimization. So in terms of actual upgrades, a bigger screen definitely leans more likely towards the Switch Pro, but also more chance for 4K and higher resolution for handheld stuff, which ideally too as well another 5 years later, we might also have better batteries as well, which especially for a portable console, very, very nice things in general. But on top of that too as well, with them also going and having to go and replace up and upgrade up the actual internal chips, as we just covered up for this article, and basically discontinuing up the actual Switch itself, that also means that the internals are probably going to be better, because if they have another brand new 5-year-old later with more advanced technology, internal chip, and processor, ideally, that also means that the Nintendo Switch itself will be a better running console, will actually go better as well, and in terms of all the actual games, should ideally run better. I mean, it's kind of duh, it's a brand new console. It should be more efficient, run cooler, and also have just more efficiency even for older games as well, such as, you know, Breath of the Wild itself, the very first one, besides Breath of the Wild 2. We also have a lot of major rumors mixed in with the Switch Pro as well, because with them having actually announcing all these next major games such as Breath of the Wild 2, etc., why would they want to go and release that on an old console that was barely able to run the previous generation well? That's not going to be a major seller, and if anything, if they go and have a brand new Switch Pro or just the next upgraded Switch version, that's going to be the major console seller, because if you want to go play a new Mario game, a new Zelda game, and also new Pokemon games as well, you're going to want to be playing that on the brand new console to go help out with lag and anything like that. You guys also saw even the Pokemon conference. The game was also running at like 10, 15 FPS, and I'm sure Nintendo wants to make millions of dollars off of releasing brand new hardware, brand new consoles, as well as also selling brand new AAA games such as Mario, Pokemon, Splatoon, etc. So very interesting news on the fact that the Switch might be actually ending its life cycle sometime in the near future, but as well, even more interesting news that the Switch Pro is still in the works, getting slight upgrades and also even internal upgrades too as well. So if you guys all enjoyed this video, a little bit different than my PlayStation 5 video, but I'm a big gaming fanboy for everywhere. So if you guys enjoyed this stuff as well, also, I just appreciate you guys all so much for watching, for hanging out, for chilling. If any of you guys are brand new, make sure you guys are subscribed, whether just for gaming news or PS5 restock news, or just gaming news in general, or just for the PlayStation 5 giveaways. Make sure you guys are subscribed for that. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed. Comment down below your thoughts as well. If you guys saw any ads, those go towards my mom, so thank you guys all for that. We have the Amazon links for the PS5 and all that good stuff going on, the Twitter and Twitch stream, if you guys would like to go and follow, especially up the Twitter, and of course the Weeble. Sign up for Weeble, deposit $100. You guys go get free stock and free money, and Coinbase, if you guys go buy $100 worth of any cryptocurrency, you guys go and get free Bitcoin. Thank you guys all so much for existing. Hope you guys enjoy this side video. We'll have a lot more restock news throughout the next few days. Love you guys all so much, and I'll see you guys up in the next one.